So dear students, our next topic is how do we breathe? Or here we are going to explain the mechanism by which we human take in and breathe out the air. Okay? So let us see. Let us study about the mechanism of breathing, or let us say mechanism of respiration for humans. Let us now learn about the mechanism of breathing. Okay? That is here. We know that first of all we take in air through our nostrils. Okay, right now touch your nose and you will feel that there are two holes in your nose, so they are actually called nostrils. So we are having left nostril and right nostril. Okay, so there are two nostrils. When we inhale air, it passes through our nostril into nasal cavity. What is nasal cavity? From the nostril, the holes are called nostril, and the cavity inside our nose. Okay, you can feel. Okay, there are small hairs also in that cavity. So that cavity is called nasal cavity. Okay, from the nasal cavity, the air reaches to lungs. Okay, here you can see in the picture that the air is going through that nasal cavity, or we can imagine it as like a pipe. Okay, through that pipe the air is going to reach the lungs. Okay, then lungs are present in the chest cavity. Okay, you can feel your chest, and inside that cavity the lungs are present. Okay, there are a pair of lung, there is left lung and right lung. Okay, the cavity is surrounded by ribs on the sides. Okay, we have already studied in standard 6 that for the we can say that for the support or for the prevention of the lungs. Okay, lungs is we can say very sensitive part. Okay, so for the prevention of it, okay, it is surrounded by this kind of rib cage we have studied in standard 6. Okay, so let us see what is next. There is chest cavity, there is rib cage, and inside that rib cage there are lungs. Now then there is a diaphragm. What is a diaphragm? Diaphragm means we can imagine something like a plate of rubber. Okay, rubber plate. What will happen if you try to stretch out that plate? There will be some force. Okay, that will try to regain its position, that will try to reshape it from where we started to stretch it. Okay, imagine like a rubber plate. Okay, you try to stretch it from the middle. Okay, and as you just put that force, what will happen? It will regain its shape. So that is called diaphragm. Okay, just like a spring. If there is a spring here, let us see. Okay, and if you stretch that spring, okay, what will happen? It will get elongated, and as you leave that spring, the spring once again will regain its shape. Okay, so diaphragm is just like that spring. Okay, but it is of, let us say, plate shape. Okay, hope you are getting it. And in picture also you can see a diaphragm. Okay, the diaphragm forms the floor of the chest cavity. So at the base the diaphragm will be there. Breathing involves the movement of diaphragm and rib cage. Okay, so whenever we breathe, the diaphragm and rib cage will move. Now how will it move? Let us see. Okay, during the inhalation, so whenever we breathe in, what will happen? Whenever we are breathing in, we are taking in some air, so the volume should increase or decrease inside the chest cavity. It should of course increase, because we are something taking in. There is air is having some volume, we are breathing in, so our chest should expand. Okay, so let us see how does it move. The ribs move up and outward. Look, ribs are moving up as well outward. You can feel it. Try to take a long breath, and you will feel that your ribs are moving up as well as outward. So by doing so, they are just increasing the volume. Okay, to accumulate the air that we suck in. Okay, this movement. And another thing is diaphragm moves down. Of course, look here in the picture, the diaphragm should move down, then the volume will increase. Okay, this movement increases the space in our chest cavity. Of course, the space will increase and air rushes into the lung. Okay, the lungs get filled with air. Okay, so this is the process of inhalation. And what about exhalation? Of course, we are exhaling the air, so the volume will decrease. So all the process will be of reverse kind here. Look here, the ribs move down and inward while the diaphragm moves up, okay, to its former position or its initial position. This will cause reduction in size of chest cavity. Okay, and it will push out the air. Okay, so this movement of body can lift and we can feel it. Okay, even you can feel it by yourself. Okay, we can take a deep breath and we can keep a palm on abdomen, and we can feel it. Okay, we can feel that movement. Okay, so you might have heard about the chest expansion. Okay, whenever we are free or we have breathed out, the size of our chest will be somewhat, and whenever we take a deep breath, okay, the full breath, then our chest will expand. Okay, so the difference between the size of chest before taking the breath and after taking the breath is called chest expansion, and we can measure it, okay, by just measuring tap. And one activity is given over here just to do it. Look here in this picture, you can see all that. Nasal cavity is there, oral cavity is there. Look, nasal cavity means the cavity of nose, oral cavity means cavity of mouth. Okay, then there is a pipe. Okay, then trachea is there. All this we are going to study. Okay, then lungs are here. From this pipe the air will come in this lungs. Okay, ribs are there for the protection of these lungs. Okay, and look here at the base, the diaphragm is there. Look here, you can see a diaphragm. Okay, so it is like a rubber plate, it can move up and down. Okay, so it will support the system of breathing. Okay, and about this too we are going to study in next topic. Okay, we are not going to discuss about them right now. Okay, so one thing is given here, smoking damages lungs. Okay, you might have seen this kind of let us say some suggestions, or whenever you buy anything like some smoking or like cigarette or something else, then this kind of suggestions are given there that we should never smoke because it damages our lungs. Okay, smoking is also linked to cancer, and sometimes it may lead us to cancer. It must be avoided. Okay, so here is something that we just explained. We can have some chest expansion competition. Okay, that is what explained over here. So let us move to next. Look here, what is given here? The air around us have various types of unwanted particles. Okay, there are some small solid particles in the air that float in the air. Actually, sometimes they are visible by naked eye and sometimes they are not visible by naked eye. But we don't want that particles to inhale with the air because they can be injurious for our health. Okay, they can damage our lungs. So that is why there is one kind of, let us say, clarification system in our nose. Okay, so what happened? Let us see here. The particles such as smoke, dust, pollen, these all are particles and we don't want to inhale them. Okay, so in nasal cavity there are small hairs. Look here in the picture, you can see small hairs are there, and even there is one liquid, a sticky liquid called mucus. Mucus is also there. So their role is to stop this kind of solid particles from reaching in these lungs. Okay, we don't want them to go inside. Okay, so hair acts like a filter. They are like a filter. They will not allow the solid particles to go in. They will only allow the pure air. Okay, and mucus is also sticky, so the small particles will stuck with this mucus, and by this they will not go inside lungs. Okay, so this is the system of our nasal cavity. That is all explained over here. Okay, another thing is, take care when you sneeze. Whenever we sneeze, you should cover your nose so that the foreign particles or solid particles you expel are not inhaled by other persons. So when do we sneeze? When there are some solid particles stuck in our nose. Okay, then we sneeze, and by sneezing the solid particles will come out, and these solid particles may once again go in the air and someone other may inhale them. So we should cover our nose by doing so we are not allowing solid particles to go once again in the air. Okay, and right now you all know that in the time of COVID-19, it is must to cover our nose while sneezing. Okay. Look here, what is explained here? It is just about the competition or chest expansion competition we told. We can measure the size of chest before inhalation and after inhalation. Okay, and we can measure the difference between them. Okay, look here, the movement of ribs and diaphragm is shown here in this picture that we have explained. While inhalation, the diaphragm moves down, rib cage moves up and outside. Okay, while in exhalation, the diaphragm move up, diaphragm is moving up, and the rib will move inside as well as downside. Okay, so here the volume will be decreased, here the volume will be increased to accumulate the air. Okay, now another activity is given over here. So what is there in this activity? In this activity they have made a, let us say, like a model. Okay, they have made a model of mechanism of breathing, okay, by using bottles and balloons. We are going to see a video of that mechanism, and from that video you will see that how actually these kind of things are helping us to breathe. Which things? The diaphragm and rib cage. Okay, look here. So let us see a video. Let us watch a video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, so in that video we have seen clearly that to understand the expansion of lungs, here what can we do? Pull the rubber sheet. Rubber sheet was pulled from the bottom. In that video you actually watched it. Yes or no? Yes. Whenever we pull it, what was happening? The balloons were sucking in some air. Okay, and whenever we are just putting it, or whenever we are removing the force by our hand, it was the diaphragm or the balloon at the base, it was coming to its original position. Okay, so diaphragm is just like that. Okay, so this mechanism can be used to understand what the mechanism of breathing in human.